Okay guys, we've taken the 55-gallon drum. We found the center of it coming down through here. We put a center mark. We measured from one side of this to the other. We found the center of that. We marked the edge of our drum here from here to here, the center. We took this up, we put it up here, measured so far down on each side. Use this as a template. We drilled a hole here. We drilled a hole here and bolted this in and marked the other two holes, and now we're taking it back off. And we're going to drill these two holes out, and then we're going to bolt the leg on, and we'll show you what that's like afterwards. The leg's on now. We put all of our screws in before we actually tighten anything down in case we need to move them around a little bit for adjustment. Alright, we're going to follow exactly the same procedure for the other end, and then we'll get back with you. Okay guys, we've got the top of the barrel here marked for putting the pan in. There's a couple of things I want to talk to you about when you go to cut the top of the barrel about putting these pans in. These pans are not square on the edges. They're kind of tapered. So when you cut this hole on the top, if you just cut a square hole down and go to set this pan down in it, the fire is going to shoot out around the edges of the pan. So what we've done is we found the center of the barrel. There's some marks down the center of the top here. I don't know if I can pick it up on camera or not. You should be able to. Down the top of the barrel here we have center marks. We marked the center, and then we came out here and I'll show you. We kind of set the pan on the end like this here. We marked the center of the pan and we lined it up with the center of the barrel here. We put a level across this. We leveled the pan, and when we did, we marked how deep the pan set in the drum right here. Once we had this mark, that mark over there with the barrel sitting level on a concrete floor, we measured off of the concrete floor up to this mark on this end, measured the same on the other end of the barrel, and we scribed a line across the barrel right here as to where level was. We did this on both sides of the barrel. And because this pan is 3/4 of an inch narrower at the bottom than it is at the top, we divided that measurement in half. We took 3/8 off of the front, 3/8 off of the back, and we made a new scribed line coming right down in here. So this line will come down, tapered in, across, taper back out. We will cut this out, and when you cut this now, don't just cut this off, because you've got to have this where you have something for the pan to set on. So we're going to actually bend this in a little bit on each side. We're going to measure up about 2.5 inches and scribe another line across this, and that's where we're going to cut to. Here, and then we're going to finish cutting down, and we're going to bend this in. That will give a platform for the bottom of this pan to sit against on the inside of the drum once that's cut out. Okay guys, we got the top cut out of this where the pan sits down in it good, and I want to show you one of the things that's very necessary about this. Right here, these ears that we've bent over in here is an absolute necessity, because without these ears, there's nothing for this pan to sit on down in here. The bottom of this pan rests on this right here. So as we set it down in there, it gives it something to set on. So that's one of the secrets we wanted to show y'all. We're going to cut the next one out, and then we're going to move forward. Okay guys, we've marked a 6-inch hole right here. We're going to be putting our stack out the back. We don't have room on the top. What we've decided to do is mark a smaller hole in here. We want to leave 1.5 inch space here. What we're going to do is cut some tabs. We're going to bend these out so that when we stick our elbow on this, we'll have something to pop rivet it to here and seal it off so that our fire can come out that way. We're going to cut the small hole with a jigsaw. Okay guys, what we've got now, we've got our elbow in here. We've bent the flanges to the outside. What I'll be doing, we're going to get a new elbow. This is an old one I use for a pattern. We're going to drill holes in these with stainless steel pop rivets and pop rivet this thing. And they make a high heat like muffler tape for exhaust pipes on cars. We'll probably tape this around it to help control some of the smoke coming out. And then basically that's going to be it. We'll basically have this thing finished except for the inside. We're going to go back and we're going to be looking for some pieces of angle iron to put in the inside to make a tray for the pan to sit on. I just feel a little better about doing that. I think it's a little bit more stable, and I think it'll help the pan a little bit about having some of the heat induction on the back of the pan right here. So, okay guys, we've got a piece of 1.5 inch by 1/8 inch angle iron here we're going to use to go in our syrup pan. This is what is going to go inside the pan. I'll show you in just a minute how it fits. But we've got to cut 2 20-inch pieces per pan to go inside this cooker. We've got it marked here and here. Our 20 inches lies on each end. This is a 48-inch piece of metal. We've got an 8-inch piece we've got to cut out of the middle here. We're going to take this and use it over on our cooker here in just a minute, but we got to get it cut first. Okay guys, we've got two of our pieces of angle iron cut here. And what we've done is we've pre-drilled 2 holes in it here. We're going to take pop rivets. I'm going to pop rivet one side first, because we want to be able to hold these in place. We got one pop riveted here. Now that I got that one, we're going to finish drilling this one on out. We're going to put the pop rivet here, and then we're going to drill these 2, and we're going to show you how the pan fits down in it. Okay guys, we've got both of them pop riveted in here. This kind of creates a runner for the pan to sit on. And what that does is take one of our pans. Our pan sits down in there real nice and snug. And it also, when you fold these ears down like this here for that to sit on, it leaves a hole right here. And fire and smoke will come out around that hole, but by doing it the way I've done it, this fills in that hole here on the sides with that 1.5 inch angle iron on it, so that when you set your pan down in there, you got a good track for the pan to sit on. And it helps stabilize the pan. It gives a good surface for this to sit on. You're not worried about these things, ears that's bent in holding your pan up. This is actually what's holding the pan. Leaves a little room for fire and heat to kind of come out around the edges of this here. But I tell you what, overall, I think this is going to be a little bit better. I've not seen anybody put these in here yet. It's just something I've come up with. I'm hoping that it actually works pretty good. You know, and maybe it'll cook a little better, because these will heat up and they'll heat the pan up. And I'm just thinking that all this, I'm just trying to go over this in my mind and figure out how the heat will induct into this right here and how it'll work, so that when it comes time to take this out of here to dump the syrup, we can just pick this up and we can get right back here, you know, and everything works good. It's sealed off real good around here. It's sealed off real good around here. It's just something that we're hoping works out real good for cooking. And if not, it'll be, you know, we can always take them out. We can drill them and take them out and just let it sit back down on these ears here. If this doesn't seem to work, it's not like we've lost anything and we hadn't damaged the cooker. This is just a good experiment for us. And might I add that this is not just only an evaporator pan. If you wanted to, you could actually fill these up with water and set your little pint and half pint jars of jellies and jams down in here. You could water bath in this thing, because this would be a nice water bath outside. If you had a lot of canning to do and this was the only way you didn't have any electricity or anything, and you had one of these, this would make a fantastic water bath canner. Now these can be purchased on Amazon. We have a link in our video. We'll put a link to these here on our Amazon where you can find these pans if you're interested in building this. This is just a plain old 55-gallon drum, and the kit that we bought to go with it, I'll show you here. The kit that we bought to use is just a plain camp stove BSK 1000 kit. Now we didn't use, there's a part that came with it that we did not use, and that was this damper system here that goes on the top of the drum. This is for if you want to use it for burning wood or something in, and it actually was supposed to fit right here on top of the drum, but instead we're bringing our pipe out the back of it here. We have an elbow ordered, like we showed you before, to go on the back of it here. We have a hole cut for the smoke and the heat to get out to put our stack up. So you know, you'll just have to save this piece here and maybe use it for something else. But this is going to be a nice addition to our homestead here as far as a cooker is concerned, for not only cooking syrup, we think, but maybe for doing the water bathing in. So okay guys, we finally got our elbow in, and because of the direction that the pipe runs, we like for our creosote to run back down into it instead of on the outside of the pipe. So we have it where the pipe goes down inside this here. So this has been cut and flanged. We're hoping that it fits in there all right, and it does. Fits good and snug. I want to push it in to where the edge of the crimp is right along the edge of those ears sticking out there. That tells me that I've got it in about the right distance inside it. I want to make sure this is sticking, you know, pretty much straight up. I mean, this is not rocket science, because, you know, it's just an outside evaporator, but we want it to look right. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get me a hole pop riveted into this. Okay, we've got a hole. You want to use steel pop rivets on this because of the tremendous amount of heat that there's going to be in this. Want to make sure you get it in good and tight. Get that running there. Okay, that's got our first one in. That kind of helps to give us a starting point now. I'm going to go around this drilling and putting pop rivets in it, and once I get it all pop riveted in, I'll get back with you and show you how we're going to install the stack on it. Okay guys, we got our pipe in here now. We got it pop riveted in. We got our stack here. We're going to be sticking this in. Get it down in there. Should fit. There we go. We'll put a couple of screws in that just to hold it temporarily. And we have our pans, which will sit down in here like so. See, we got these runners in here. I got them in here for the pan to actually set on. Fits down nice and snug, and there we have it. This here has got a little latch over here on the front. You open that up, you'll be able to put your wood in there. Close it back up. You got your draft control here. So, guys, we are ready to cook sugarcane syrup now. So thank you from Deep South Homestead.